Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day has been great. I just woke up and holy crap, I made a video last night covering a tweet saying there was going to be a bunch of news dropping within the next 48 hours. Well, more like the next freaking 4 hours because a ton of news just dropped, guys. I literally woke up while I was sleeping, checked my phone, saw all the news, instantly woke up, and here we are, guys. So starting off with the Boston Uprising, they have kicked 3 players. Kalios, Avast, and Snow are all gone. We're going to cover each player individually. Then we're moving on to the next piece of news. New York Excelsior has dropped the typical genius Wizardhyeong. Now this is a weird situation. In the New York Excelsior announcement tweet, it says it was a mutual decision. But to be honest, guys, I don't think this was so mutual. I think New York Excelsior dropped him. We're going to cover that whole situation. And then moving on, guys, we have some leaks coming out from Halo of Thoughts, Aaron Brown again. And he's saying these are sources and confirmed leaks. For the first one, he tweeted out that Korean contenders Team 7. Now, Team 7 is definitely not one of the best teams in Korea contenders, but he is saying that their entire team, or if not entire team, a lot of them are being targeted for an expansion franchise. This is very interesting, and this actually makes me think that there might be more than 6 teams coming into the Overwatch League next season. And another reason why I think there might be more than 6 expansion teams this season is because Aaron Brown once again did tweet about a Melbourne slot being sold for Season 2 in the Overwatch League. I know he had some hiccups before with some tweets he made. He said that Melbourne was definitely getting a spot for Season 2, and then he backtracked and said it was Season 3. Well, now he is saying he has sources and that it is going to be Season 2, and it's going to be announced tomorrow. So I believe if Melbourne actually does get an Overwatch League team, we're getting more than a total of 6 expansion teams for this season. Anyways, guys, it's a ton of crazy news. I'm going to talk about it all in this video. If you want to stay updated on all Overwatch League news every single day, be sure to subscribe to my channel with notifications on and you'll never miss a video. Also, drop a like on it, and now without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright, so starting off with these Boston Uprising changes, guys. As I said, Kalios, Snow, and Avast have all been dropped by the Boston Uprising, and they posted these really cool little paragraphs about each player on their Twitter. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. Starting off with Kalios. Thank you, Kalios. You are someone who has always brought a lot of energy, lighthearted, comedy, and passion to the game. I know we didn't always see eye to eye on some issues, but I am glad you were on the team, and I hope to see more of you, the legendary 5K Zarya in Overwatch soon. I hope your next team can better use you and fit you into their lineup. Chris Huck Loringer, President of Gaming. So I guess Huck is going to leave a little statement about each player. Moving on to the next one, we have Avast, a farewell to the king of memes. Connor, you are charismatic, mature, personable. Every day you showed up, and not only to do your job, but to help in whatever way you could. Although you never played an official game, you brought so much to our team and were an ideal teammate, player, and leader. You never complained, you always did your best, which is a hard thing to do for any player. You helped your teammates through a lot of tough times and carried a lot of weight on your shoulders this year. I know you have the potential to be a centerpiece and a leader for your next team. And now moving on to Snow. I was happy to have met you in Toronto eSports and even happier to have brought you into Overwatch League. You're an incredibly strong person who transformed in many ways over the last year. You changed and improved in so many ways both in and outside of the game. You were one of the, if not the hardest workers on the team. You are full of passion, optimism. I have no doubt if you continue to work hard with your attitude and drive, you will be successful in Overwatch or whatever you choose to pursue in life. This is just the beginning for you, and I look forward to seeing you to continue the path you are on and grow to new heights. And then this was also posted on their website, Boston Uprising roster update. The Boston Uprising announced today they have exercised the team option to release Kalios, Avast, and Snow from their contracts. Kalios is a flex tank player who joined the Boston Uprising from a Freak of Freaks Blue in the Apex League. Avast plays support and joined the Uprising after playing for Luminosity Gaming Evil and Hammer Esports. Snow began his career with Toronto eSports and plays flex support. The 3 players were originally members of the Uprising and part of the 26 and 14 season that saw Boston finish 3rd in the league. Each of these players were a key part of our inaugural season run, and I want to thank them for their contributions and hard work, said Huck, President of Gaming for the Kraft Group. We wish them the best of luck, and we look forward to seeing where they go from here. These roster changes bring the Boston Uprising to a 7-man roster. The team has contract options on all players for the 2018-2019 season. Free agency begins for all teams on October 8th, and all teams must have at least 8 players signed by December 8th. So there it is, guys, all the statements coming out from the Boston Uprising, and it seems like Snow, Avast, and Kalios are just gone now. Now the question everybody is asking, well, are they good enough to stay in the Overwatch League? Will they find teams? Will they find trials? Well, starting off with Kalios, the one who I think is more than likely going to stay in the Overwatch League, he will receive trials from other teams, and I do think he'll definitely make a roster. He did show that he is a competent off-tank throughout most of the season, especially on Zarya and Roadhog, as mentioned by Huck. His problem was just very unlucky in the fact that Note was so damn good, and he came out of nowhere, and none of us expected him to be that good. So as long as Kalios just continues playing, continues grinding, he will get trials, and he will make a roster. Now moving on to the other two who might not be as fortunate as Kalios, who neither of them even touched the stage one time during Season 1, and that might be the biggest problem and biggest downfall of them. Personally, I have great experiences with Avast, and I thought he was an amazing player, and I thought he was definitely going to start for the Boston Uprising. I guess Kellex just made a better impression at the beginning of the season on Mercy, and because of this, Avast never got his chance to shine. As Huck did say, he's a great leader, he has great communication, and I definitely could see him at the top leading a team as well. I think if he does get trials, there is a chance he could end up on a team. It's just the fact that he needs to get trials. He'll definitely be able to get a chance in Overwatch contenders. I just don't know if Overwatch League teams are going to be willing to give a guy who didn't end up playing one game the entire season a chance to trial. Now, I know there's a ton of expansion teams coming, but I feel like most of them are looking at core players and definitely not just one single Western North American player. So it might be really bumpy for Avast, but if he does continue to work hard and proves himself in Overwatch contenders, I could definitely see him move up to the league eventually. Or who knows, maybe he will get trials in Overwatch League and easily prove himself. We'll just have to see. And then moving on to Snow, who I think is the least likely one to get on any team, even a contenders team, just because he has no experience prior to the Boston Uprising. Yeah, he was on Toronto eSports, but they honestly weren't that good at all. They weren't in contenders prior to the Overwatch League. They never made, a big impression. They never won any big games. The only reason many people believe he got into Boston Uprising is just because he was on Toronto eSports with Huck, and Huck thought, all right, I'll move him on. Maybe he'll be good. Maybe he won't. The fact that he never played a game and we can't judge him just makes me think that he's not going to get many trials, and if he does, maybe he can prove himself. I'm not saying he's bad, I'm just saying it doesn't look good for him. But that's pretty much where I leave it at with these three players, guys. I hope they do all get chances to prove themselves because it was unfortunate. None of them really got a chance with the Boston Uprising besides maybe Kalios. One last thing to note is that at least all these players do have a season of Overwatch League under their belt, which is more than any contenders player can say, so maybe expansion teams will look at that and be like, all right, maybe we should give them a chance. They've experienced a full season, and maybe even it's an advantage to experience a full season on the bench, because you can kind of look at everything objectively and try to process what exactly is going on, what worked, what didn't work. So we'll have to see. That is a valuable experience, and I definitely think that's the angle Avast and Snow need to play off no matter what. But we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, and now let's go to move on and talk about the typical genius Wizardhyeong from New York Excelsior. Alright, so New York Excelsior tweeted this out today. Today we say goodbye to Coach Wizardhyeong. We could not be more thankful for his hard work and leadership throughout the team's inaugural season. This was a mutual decision. Simply put, Wizardhyeong, you will be missed. Now, this is some crazy news, guys. Wizardhyeong was pretty much looked at as one of the best coaches in the Overwatch League. Something to note, though, a lot of people think he was the head coach. He is not. Pavane is the head coach of the New York Excelsior. Wizardhyeong was an analyst. Now, one of the biggest reasons why Wizardhyeong is so popular comes from that typical genius quote. When they were in the playoffs going up against Philadelphia Fusion, New York Excelsior and the Overwatch League played a clip in front of everybody where Wizardhyeong pretty much said he's the best coach in the world, he's a genius. He pretty much just hyped himself up, and then immediately New York Excelsior got upset by the Philadelphia Fusion. Now, this is just one of the many reasons why he's super famous, though. Wizardhyeong, over the course of the season, has been an extremely hard worker, and it's been shown. If you look at some of the work which he's posted on Twitter and Reddit previously, you'll see that the guy does put in the hard work. And this is what Wizardhyeong posted on his Twitter. Goodbye, New York Excelsior. I really appreciate the management and players. Planning to do a lot of streams and content creation. Looking for team if you need a typical genius. So Wizardhyeong saying here that he is looking for a team and he's standing by his typical genius statement. And I do feel that is a big reason why New York Excelsior did kick him. They saw that, then they lost, and they're like, all right, we don't want to be represented as like these cocky guys that end up choking and losing. And they thought the best way to get rid of that negative atmosphere is to just get rid of Wizardhyeong. I could be wrong here. I don't know exactly what went down, but that is definitely my theory. And Wizardhyeong, I do think he could still make a great coach on any team. He brings a lot to the table when it comes to stats and just understanding the meta. It's definitely a weird situation. Wizardhyeong was definitely looked up to by many. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you think he was kicked? Do you think it was actually mutual, or do you think he left? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on now. And let's cover these tweets from Aaron Brown. The first one comes about Team 7. He said this: source, some if not all of Contenders Korea Team 7 have an agreement in place with an expansion franchise. This follows up on my tweet yesterday about potentially surprising Korean players in Overwatch League. And then he responded saying, update, team will be operated by Blank eSports and announcement coming from them tomorrow. This is absolutely huge, and it's just out of the left field. Team 7 is definitely not one of the best Korean contenders teams. They placed 5th in their group, which is low enough to get relegated out of Season 2 Contenders Korea. So it's like mind-blowing that this team was picked up for the Overwatch League, which makes me think if this team's getting signed to the Overwatch League for Season 2, there has to be more than 6 teams, because there's literally 6 teams in Korea that are clearly better than Team 7. It's weird, but that's what I'm thinking, guys. Be sure to let me know down in the comments what you think about this, and let's move on to the next tweet from Aaron Brown. And this one pretty much ties in with that one. Blank eSports is running that team, which is an Australian team, and then he tweeted this out. Source, at the Melbourne eSports Open this weekend, there is a big Overwatch-related announcement expected to be made on Saturday. It is thought that it is in relation to the, as previously mentioned here, Overwatch League team Melbourne being announced. I asked him down below, is it for Season 2? And he said, yes, sir. So I think this is in connection with his other tweet. Team 7 is going to be picked up by Blank eSports for the Melbourne eSports team in Overwatch League, guys. Absolutely insane. It's what he's tweeting, it's what he's leaking. He says it's a source, so it must be confirmed. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be huge, guys. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. Leave a comment, drop a like on the video, subscribe to stay updated on all daily Overwatch League news. And that's it for me, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.